Hello, sisters. Welcome to the season two of the Rising Feminine Online Temple, which is a 7 days journey for women to come back to their true essence. My name is Jonita D'Souza, your feminine lifestylist, and also the keeper of this temple space, where I have gathered leading visionaries from around the world to join forces and initiate you in your authentic feminine. If you have been following my work, then you may know a little bit that a big part of my work as a feminine lifestylist is to invite women to indulge into everyday rituals so that we feel more nurtured, nourished, and fulfilled amongst our busy lifestyle. So, as part of this online temple, I really invite you to create a sacred container, maybe light a candle, grab your journal, give yourself the time for yourself to receive the offerings on this temple space because each of the teacher present here have a very special message for you. And joining us today is Cathy Ballard, who has been a dear sister as well as a colleague. And she will be guiding us through a beautiful initiation process to expand our capacity to receive consistent flowing abundance. And I must say, following Cathy's work, she really specializes in this topic. Before we welcome Cathy, I also would like to read a little bit about Cathy to you so that you get an idea of her medicine. Cathy is a spiritual teacher, transformational coach, and healer who works through the power of her heart. She's passionate about empowering spiritual go-getters and consciousness adventurers to access and embody their true spiritual power, push the boundaries of possibility to create more abundance, and to trust their natural genius, which will lead them towards the bigger life they were born for. She also helps her clients access their soul's vision and true desires and channels deep energy activations and clearings to restore flow and to release conscious and unconscious energetic blocks, causing the invisible walls that stand between them and the abundance, freedom, happiness, and joy they desire. She works with clients through one-to-one intensives, channel sessions, and workshops. She does regular videos and Facebook Lives on energy, mind mastery, and she is currently writing a book, The Sorceress Awakens, bringing her knowledge and experience into a novel centered on the theme of the rise of the divine feminine. Welcome, Cathy.
Hi, Janita. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you today.
Yes, and I'm so excited to talk to you. I know we've been doing these calls, personally for so long in this year especially. And I have felt your energy and I have felt your medicine and I have felt your presence and your passion for the work that you do. So I'm so excited that you are here and we get to talk one more time.
That's great. Thank you.
So, Cathy, I'm sure that the women watching will be interested to know how did you go about starting or doing this kind of work? Before that, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Before that, I would like to share with you the Goddess Oracle card that I pulled out before our interview so that we could tune into the interview, and I totally forgot about it. Anyways, here is Goddess Diana. Can you see?
Yeah.
And she's about focused intention. I think she's a Roman goddess.
Right. That resonates.
Yeah, so I would be really keen. It's really interesting that I lost the focus of sharing this goddess with you. But I'm curious to know if you find any resonance in this moment with this goddess showing up for us today.
Well, if she's about focus intent, very much so. That's something I've been working with a lot at the moment. I'm leading a group at the moment, a group of women on a consciousness journey. And it's been so interesting to see how what the tendencies are that we have to go into busyness and get depleted, and because it's a group and we're trying to grow something together, when some are in masculine energy and others are in feminine energy, it's like throwing the group all over the place. And really it's like when we can let go of the doing and the busyness and just choose and be really clear and intentional from an inner place, then we can move forwards together. And this is what we've been doing, and the whole group is actually now really starting to gel and flow together. So it's been wonderful to go through that. So that it totally resonates right now.
Thank you for sharing that. And now I would like to hear about how you started this journey of working with healing energy and abundance and all of that.
Sure, thank you. Well, I guess the first thing that happened really, I guess when I was 23, I went off backpacking, and I was actually going to Japan to teach English as a foreign language, and I was petrified. I was doing it as a way to I was so shy and felt like I needed to find myself and just find a bit of personal power, really, I think. And so I decided, right, I was going to go and do this by teaching English in Japan, and I did a TEFL course, and so I was qualified. But yes, terrified. And I got on the plane, and I had to do a stopover in Sri Lanka, and I was thinking, oh my God, that's a third world country and I'm going to die, or I don't know. It was all just fear. And so I was a bit panicked, and I was sitting on the plane on the next leg of the journey and shaking. And I just had this really calm, clear voice from inside saying, don't worry, but your backpack didn't make it onto the plane and everything's going to be okay. And it was so reassuring, and yet totally not what my head needed to hear. But when I got to Narita, and I just knew my backpack wouldn't be there, and it wasn't. And because I'd already had that inner guidance saying, I was really calm. I just went to fill in my details with the information desk, and I continued my journey, which was a really difficult journey. It was like a 2-day journey right up to the North Island of Hokkaido. And I would never have been able to carry this massive backpack, not easily anyway. And as it was, I got to my destination and my backpack turned up by courier 2 hours after me. And I was like, oh my God, what was that voice? And how do I learn to tune into it more and listen to it? And I sort of decided or intuited that it came to me because I was outside of my routine and outside of my comfort zone. And so from then on, I really started buying. I did a lot of traveling, and I used to buy one-way tickets to different countries around the world. And because I just had a gut feeling, I have to be there for some reason. And I would usually meet a person or learn a lesson, or a door would open, like an opportunity would come. And eventually I knew I had to get to Mexico City for something. I met this New Zealander who was a spiritual teacher. He invited me to help him build a consciousness center in the North Island. And I ended up going to do that for 5 or 6 years and got into the energy work there much more, and healing, and learning about consciousness from an energetic perspective, because my background had been more from the yoga side. So that was it's like learning a new language, really, and we were in the middle of nowhere in nature, so it was very much about connecting to the divine feminine and feeling the power of nature and how that can transform, and how much we influence it by who we're being. So that's kind of where everything started for me, and I've sort of come full circle in my work, because I bypassed that little bit by being a graphic designer, and then came back into doing this work again, and which I'm so grateful for. So yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Yeah, it sounds like a daring journey which you had to take.
Yeah, and it's like the external journey has more been replaced by the inner journey, but they're very equal. And now I'm looking at doing a bit more of a balance, and I'm going off to Portugal and sort of getting back into that flow of traveling again soon. So I'm really excited about that.
And I'm excited for you. So let's dive into today's topic of expanding our capacity to receive. And this is something that I know I've been working with women around this topic as well. And I've noticed, especially as women, find this as really difficult topic, the word receive. Although how much ever we want to receive, we are not allowing ourselves many times to receive. So I'd really like to hear your takes on this.
Of course. Receiving, it's really a feminine superpower, isn't it? It's an intrinsic quality of feminine energy, which is, of course, embedded in us as women. But as you said, it's really hard to trust that we can rely on it, because most of us have developed habits that are more relying on perpetual doing, because like historically, expressions of masculine energy, like thinking and doing, that they've been so much more highly valued over more feminine expressions like being and feeling. And it's those things, and we've also it's what we've been told will bring us success, and it works. It does bring us success when we're in that masculine energy and we're making it happen. But we've had to do all of that on kind of following the male rules of the game. I mean, it's interesting, this year is 100 years since women first received the vote in this country. I mean, it was first, actually, the first women who got to receive the vote was in New Zealand. I think it was 1898. But all of, like, when I've been watching a lot of things on the suffragettes recently, because there's a lot going on the TV. But they had to play by the men's games, you know, and get really fight for that. And when you think about business, women in business is probably only been a thing for sort of 70 years or so. You know, it's always been a male-dominated world, and women have had to step into, you know, they've had to like fight the men at their own game and be better and do more. And so we've managed it because we're amazing. But it's been confusing for us as well, because we've now got this success from being, you know, from being very fully in masculine energy and making it happen, and we've let go of more the feminine side, but we've also been burning out. So now is a time for us to rebalance things, but we do have a lot of other things that stop us receiving. You know, obviously in our collective unconscious, there's such a lot of fear still about embodying our divine feminine, because the powers that be in the past, they were threatened by it. So it was vilified, it was oppressed, we were tortured, and so human psyche is still carrying all that. So you know, it makes it hard for us to step up into our full feminine power, because there's that sense of we might be killed for it. And so part of receiving is obviously such a big part of being in your feminine energy, and so there will be an unconscious part of us that blocks allowing us to do that. There's another thing about being busy. It's sort of been I don't know, it reminds me of the Beauty Myth by Naomi Wolf, which was all about the rise of women and beauty, rather than women in the home, which had, after the war, women were, you know, given those marketing messages that with the women in the home with all the nice new washing machine and the vacuum and all that, there was like the ideal picture of a woman. And then it became women to look a certain way and to be beautiful and buy all these products and put all the effort into how you look and, you know, what your body shape should be like. So there's these controls that are there that come from the powers that be, the old paradigm unconscious male. And I think being busy and kind of like almost like valuing that, or I don't know, at least controlling women through busyness, is something that stops us receiving. Because when we're juggling being mothers and partners and daughters and sisters and employees and, you know, or business owners or whatever, it really squeezes our time. And that causes us by default to get immersed in doing mode and multitasking and thinking and planning, and back into the male side, and that cuts us off from our true power. It's like having the hose turned on the whole time, your energy going out, and there's a little flow coming back to us to fill us up. So we get depleted and drained, and we're not then in our natural full power as women. And another thing is that, you know, it's natural. Women are good at giving. It's our natural kind of, it's in our wiring to be nurturing, and it makes us feel good to give. But we need to honor ourselves and have our own needs met, so that there's just kind of overflowing that then goes to others. Otherwise, again, we just get depleted. So there's a million reasons why someone isn't so good at receiving and in and it can be in any area of life, whether you're wanting to receive money or a new relationship, or, you know, loving connection, or vibrant health, or uplifting work, whatever it is that you're wanting to receive. There's always some kind of program based in fear and believing that we are not powerful, that when in reality, or especially like from a spiritual level, we're infinite spiritual beings in physical form, and we are unlimited. We can make anything happen. And this is typically the kind of work that I do with clients, is helping people to connect to their infinite self, to source energy, to you know, to experience their unlimited way of thinking and being and feeling. And that's, I'm going to take you through a process that will help you experience that in a few minutes. But the other thing about receiving is, in order to receive healing, we also have to be willing to receive the moment, and the moment as it is. And it's about being willing to surrender and yield and let go of control and be vulnerable and to feel and allow, and all of those, which are also all feminine qualities. When we can do that, when we can really allow ourselves to open up and receive what life is bringing us, then it allows our lives to really transform effortlessly, and which puts us then into a vibrational match for what we're wanting to call in. You know, we're becoming attractors rather than pushing and striving to make something happen, which is like the old paradigm way of when you're coming from your masculine energy. So yeah, it's all about, when you're in receiving, it's actually a state of being. It's a specific vibration, and it's actually simply a choice to access it. Anybody can do it anytime. And it's not just a man-women thing, you know. It is a feminine energy. That's all.
Exactly.
And as well as increasing our material abundance and that sense of empowerment, when we can be in that energy of receiving, we also open ourselves up then to all kinds of possibilities of receiving intuitive insights, maybe, that lead to really heart-opening experiences, and also like the possibilities that magic and synchronicity can bring as well. So it just, being in the energy of receiving, it brings you whatever, kind of like gets you back into the flow, and it allows whatever source or the higher intelligence that you are, it brings you what you most need in that moment. And, you know, for women, it really is, it's a natural state. It's only our habits of conditioning that I've mentioned that sort of stop us accessing it. And so this is one of the exercises that I wanted to take the listeners through. There's one that's really quick, actually. The first little one is just simply just to pause and just to breathe, and just with your eyes open, just feeling your body, feeling your energy, and just noticing colour and shapes and objects in the room without commentary, just receiving everything that you can see, sense, hear. And it's like not wrapping any of it up in words, just kind of receiving the vibration of it, feeling what colour feels like, noticing what texture makes you feel like, feeling the air on your skin or how it feels to breathe. And I'm just being really conscious of not having any words, no mental commentary. You're then drawing all the sensations into you. Normally we're busy, and we're labeling things and we're making judgments and conclusions, and this doesn't stop. So it sort of reverses the flow, and doing that multiple times through the day can really help you restore that balance in lots of ways.
Yeah, I like, for me, walking does that, you know, when I go for walks, so I know, okay, this is my everyday time to receive, pretty much. And it's just so easy that you walk and you get present. I really like when you said that it's our choice, and And all of this is a choice. And I feel that as especially women, we have kind of given away this power of having the choice, to be able to choose. And we've kind of turned into, as you said, that the limited version of ourselves. And as you said, that there are, infinite possibilities and all of these, the surrender and the let go and the magic and all of that. But we will never experience that if we never make a choice to stop and listen and stop and stop and stop. And
Yeah.
it's so important for us women, especially we hormonally are not made that way too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I, like you, my favorite way of doing of that is to go walking in nature, but I love doing it barefoot, particularly like first thing in the morning when you've got all these different temperatures and textures and there's dew on the grass, and it totally puts you in your body and you're feeling the earth and almost like the beat of Mother Earth through your feet, and so it takes you, like, cuts you off from the head and you're fully taking that energy in. So yeah, totally love that.
So Cathy, I'm so curious for our initiation process that you're going to guide us through. Let's go for it.
Okay, good. All right, so if you just want to close your eyes and just start to take some nice slow deep breaths into your belly. And just notice how your body moves around your breath. And feel how your body's supported and connected to the ground. Put your awareness into your feet. And imagine or sense that you've got roots that reach right down through the soil and the rocks, right down into the center of the planet, to the powerful pulsing heart of Mother Earth. And as you feel into her heart, just sense a place of warm, nurturing, nourishing energy, pure, unconditional love right at the center. And in that energy, in that warm center, there's a beautiful crystal. And imagine that your roots are wrapping around that crystal, anchoring you really deeply. And feel the vibration of the crystal, sense its color. This crystal is charged with whatever you need from it today. Maybe it's unconditional love, empowerment, confidence, peace, self-belief, whatever you need. Just imagine drawing this crystal's energy up through your roots, up into your feet, into your legs, up into your hips and pelvis, up into your belly, and up into your heart. And just make that heart-to-heart connection just for a moment or two. Mother Earth, with Gaia, this powerful divine feminine consciousness in physical form, just like you, who provides everything that we need in our lives, supports us all unconditionally through her limitless abundance. So just let yourself feel held and loved and supported, just for being you, absorbing and filling yourself up with the energy from the crystal. Great, and now imagine connecting to the light of consciousness. Maybe you sense it as a bright ball of energy way above you. Just imagine a column of light descending down over you. Sense your crown gently opening up to receive this light. Imagine drawing it down through your crown, down through your forehead, into your brain. Flow the light down through your neck and your throat. Flow it down into your heart space and just imagine it filling your whole chest area with light. Flow it down into your solar plexus. Feel it flooding all your inside, sending it down into your womb space, into your hips and pelvis, down into the base of your spine, and then flow it down through your legs, right down through your feet and down into the heart of the planet. where it connects with that crystal. Sense it charging that crystal up, and feel that combined energy surging right back up into your heart, igniting that unique divine flame of consciousness within you in your heart, so that your heart fills with brilliant light, which starts to spread out through all the cells of your body, through all the muscles, all the nerves, all the tissues, out to the top of your head, out to the tips of your fingers and toes, and just keep breathing into your heart and feel it pumping this light out into your energy field. Imagine your energy field filling up with these bright, brilliant lights, and sense how this light now is starting to get so bright, it's shining out in every direction, out from your energy field, like you're this beautiful shining sun, and your energy is transmitting in waves that touch everything in the universe. And as you do that, just notice how there are no edges to you. Notice how you can extend your awareness out in any direction, to any person or place or thing or time or dimension. And your consciousness is there, because there's no part of the creation that your consciousness cannot be. Separation doesn't exist, not at this level. You're intrinsically connected to all of it. So you're also not separate from the abundance you desire, or from the creative power and intelligence that knows how to bring it to you. You are pure consciousness. This is your true nature. And you are one with this field of pure potentiality and unlimited possibility. Just spend a few moments really connecting with your infinite self. And just feel the peace at this level. So now I want you to imagine that you're walking along a path in nature, and it leads you through a wood, and then the path takes you out along to the side of a river. And just notice what this river is like. Is it wide and deep, or is it shallow? Is it slow moving, or is it moving really swiftly? Is it full of rapids? Is it just a little trickle? Just notice how that river is. However it looks, it's perfect. And this is your river of abundance. So I want you to imagine now that this river is approaching a waterfall, and this is the Falls of Plenty. And you can see the water just gushing over the drop. And there's a little path that leads down the side of the waterfall, so would make your way down to the bottom, where you can see the whole waterfall really clearly. And just notice the force with which it flows. Notice if there is a pool beneath it, acting as a reservoir for the water to fill up before it overflows and continues on its journey. And just, if there is, notice how wide or deep this pool is, or notice maybe if the water's flowing too swiftly to even accumulate. So if this river stands for the amount of abundance you're currently allowing yourself to receive and accumulate, what do you see? How does it make you feel? How full or depleted of this energy of abundance do you feel? Notice if you can sense any kind of a block or anywhere you might be holding back the flow. Maybe some kind of contraction in your body. And if you feel any barrier, just reconnect to your heart again, like we did just a moment ago, and expand your light back out to your infinite self, out through your body, out through your energy field, to where you're fully connected to the field of consciousness, to pure light, pure unconditional love, pure abundance. And just remember that abundance is just energy. It's your birthright, it's who you are, and you're not separate from it. And also it's trying to get to you. As the great Sufi mystic and poet said, like Rumi, what you seek is seeking you. So just simply choose to open yourself up to receive it. And imagine expanding this river of abundance so much that its flow is wide and deep, and it's flowing over those falls of plenty like you're receiving the energy of Niagara. So just using your imagination. And as you do that and you make that flow so big and full, just feel how it is to receive that flow into you. Imagine yourself really expanding your capacity to receive more and more of it. You feel yourself merge with it so that you feel the energy through your body and being. And if you need to move or shake or stretch or do whatever you need to do so that your body can release any stuck energy that might be stopping you from opening up. So now I'm just going to imagine a different lens in front of this flow. I want you to imagine that this lens is money. And just notice what happens to the flow when you do that. Imagine that pound coins and dollars and euros and yen and so notes of all denominations and checks and bank transfers and paid invoices and gifts of money and tax rebates and found money and salary increases and people wanting to pay you for your services. All of this money is flowing to you. Just notice how, if you feel depleted already of this energy, notice if it is something that expands your energy. Notice if your energy changes or if you feel contraction. Notice how easily you allow the flow in. Just be aware of anything that can enhance your awareness. Notice if the energy accumulates or it flows away really quickly. So just remembering again that money is not separate from you, it is energy. And so if the flow has contracted, again, reconnect back out to source energy, out to your infinite self. Feel how that feels to be in your full power. Feel that expansiveness. Feel your capacity expand to receive it. Feel the flow of the river. And again, change it to money now. And notice if anything changes. And again, move or shake your body to release any energy that's stuck or stagnant. Consciously open your heart's capacity to receive even more. You might want to open your arms up to the sky like you're a vessel to be filled with this highest vibration of money. And just imagine filling up from the bottom of your toes to the top of your head and filling up your energy field with this vibration of receiving abundance and money. And just keep pulling it in. And now imagine that you can draw all this energy into your heart on an in-breath, and on an exhalation, sending that energy out into the universe, into every direction all around you, and just getting a sense that this field of consciousness that you're intrinsically connected to, it's an extension of you, that all the cogs of the universe in this field are turning in response to this vibration that you're being. Things are lining up based on your new vibration that you're choosing. And just send a thank you out to the universe. Thank you for bringing me the gifts of receiving, bringing me more money, bringing me more of what I desire in my life. As if it's a done deal, as if it's a certainty. And then just gently start to take some breaths back into your body. Feel your body back in the room, back in the space, just feeling yourself center. Push your feet gently into the ground or wiggle your fingers and toes. Just do whatever you need to do to gently bring yourself back. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
Whew. I couldn't stop yawning. I could just feel all this stagnant energy is coming out. I was filling myself up with this energy of abundance.
Yeah, that's good. When we get the yawns, that's usually a sign that things are shifting.
Yeah.
Some people burp, or energy moves in all kinds of ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Feels so good.
It's interesting. Like recently, I've been going through, like, with the group that I mentioned earlier, trying to managing all kinds of different women and all the things that they've got going on. I think it put me into a doing space, and because it was, I wanted to get it right, and I went into my head some more, and then I realized I'm not in the receiving, I'm doing. And so I've been practicing this in the particularly in the last week, and I swear to you that since I've been doing this more and more, things have totally turned around. And when I first downloaded this meditation, I was meditating, and this is what came through. I was started to practice it, and I had the best month in my business ever. So it is simply a vibration that when we can be in alignment with it, law of attraction takes over. And we don't normally think, oh, I just must choose to be in receiving. We're so much in a default of being busy and doing, so it really, really has a powerful effect.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. When we give ourselves the time to do this work, we already go into the vibration, and then just the things get activated and the law takes over, as you say.
Yeah. I think that's part of our job as women, really, or as part of the new paradigm, or living more from the divine feminine, is this sense of letting the universe and the support that we are, the greater support that's there for us, letting that do 80% of the let it doing the heavy lifting work. And it's that sense of, if we are the ones in a boat and we're setting a destination, then we just have to do the readjusting the sails and making sure it's aligned with where we're going, but not blowing into the sails as well, which is, I think, what most of us have done to date. So it's like allowing this the greater consciousness to do that work by our intention, by having that focus.
Yeah, I like to say the same, like claiming our divine partnership,
Yeah, perfect.
We don't have to do it by ourselves. Everything in this life can be outsourced as well to the divine.
Exactly. That was the greatest kind of outsourcing that you can do, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That it's been, when I realized this concept of, yes, it's not like I have to be looking for the divine outside, and the divine is within me. And secondly, that the divine is my partner in my existence, that totally shifted the way I would allow myself to do things, and especially getting out of the busy realm, and things begin to unfold. You have to trust.
Yes.
And, you have to trust. Thank you so much for your presence, Cathy.
My pleasure.
Truly love talking to you. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And thank you for this beautiful journey that you took us through.
My absolute pleasure.
So to conclude, I would like to ask you to share with the women watching about your free gift.
Of course, thank you. Well, it's another. It's a little bit similar to what we've just done. It's called Magnetize Yourself to Money, and it's about getting into the vibration of how normally when we think we want money, it's like, well, what do you want the money for, and what is the feeling that you want as a result of having the money? So it's about connecting into the energy that you want to experience. And again, law of attraction, practicing being that vibration. And then there's an aspect called an energy pull, where you connect back out to your infinite self, and you're pulling energy in to like heighten the vibration that you're being. So again, you're in a receiving energy. It's not about like often in a lot of meditations where you're sending love out to perhaps the world, you know, it's still coming out from you. And I kind of created this meditation when I realized, well, I don't actually pull it in very much. And again, this had a massive impact on me. So this is about sort of charging up your vibration to be attracted to the things that money will bring you.
Awesome. Sounds good. I have one last question for you, Cathy, before we finish for today. Is what does rising feminine mean to you in one word, or not one word, probably a sentence or two?
I think it is like what I was saying about the divine partnership. I think that is being receptive and letting go of the habitual operating from your doing side, and trusting that when we can let go and connect to the greater consciousness, that there's so much power available for us to tune into, and that we don't have to work so hard for it, that things will unfold without us pushing. So I think for me it's about, you know, finding the balance between the masculine and feminine. Yeah, that kind of sums it up really.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much, Cathy, for your time, your presence, and your generous free gift as well. I'm sure the women watching would download that and experience it for themselves, so that they know what they are capable of.
Yeah, great. My absolute pleasure. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to listening to your other speakers as well. Sounds great, Janita. Well done. It's awesome.